This for anybody that's going to learn or about to learn how to use one of these vocallett systems. I'm going to try to make it as easy as possible. So let's go ahead and get started. The Honeywell A720x, very very good system. I've seen it used in a lot of warehouses. A very popular system to use these days. There are other methods of picking, which are maybe using an RF scanner. You can also use a gladiator, which prints out labels. There's also, different types of systems like Wetron that have like a little tiny computer, and it's a little computer screen that's telling you everything that's going on. But for right now, these are used at most warehouses, and let's go ahead and get started. It's always better to grab one of the bigger batteries. The bigger batteries last longer, and they come in handy when you're gonna pick maybe in the freezer or in fresh, because it's cooler in there and it's very cold, and the batteries last longer and they die faster. I'm sorry. And so it's pretty good to have one of these bigger batteries if you're working in a freezer, or if you're working in fresh, meaning produce, or the meat room or dairy or anything like that. The first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna go ahead and plug it in this way. So you're gonna have this little thing right here that you can push up. Go ahead and put it into that, and if you want to take off the battery when you're gonna change it, you just push this up and you go ahead and take it off. Now, for the most part, they connect to these headsets. Most warehouses will have these as well. I have two different ones to show, just to show how to connect it, and the best and easiest way I found to connect it. So most warehouses, same thing. They're gonna have both of these batteries. Every warehouse that obviously you're gonna be working at, you go ahead and connect it, and it should connect. This one's gonna connect pretty quick, but just depending where you work and the way they take care of their systems and the way the people take care of the systems, just depends how fast it turns on. This one is pretty well taken care of, so it should turn on pretty quick, less than 2 seconds. So now, to turn it on in the headset, you have 3 buttons. You have the play button, the power button. Then you have the minus and plus. Power, minus, plus. Power, obviously, it turns it on, and it turns it off. Turns it on. The plus and minus is for volume and to being able to scroll up and down your menu button, and I'll show you how to get into that. Now, to go ahead, we already have the battery in. To go ahead and turn it on, for the vocallett, you're gonna have four buttons: the play button, the plus, the minus, and the menu button, also known as a little man. To turn it on, you're gonna press the play button, the one on the left hand side. If the little man is facing up the way he's supposed to, standing up straight, the play button is gonna be on the left side. Those are the only 4 buttons that are on this system. 3 in the headset, 4 on this one. So now, to connect your vocallett to your headset, the easiest thing to do is to press the plus and minus on both of these devices at the same time. So what I like to do, I like to use my ring finger for one, and the middle finger for the other. So go ahead, I'm gonna start pressing them both down at the same time. This is the best way to do it that I've learned. Sometimes it doesn't work on the first try, so you're gonna have to take off this battery again, and then you're gonna have to pop it back in and do this maybe once or twice, and then sometimes it'll just turn off like that. Turning off like that is a good sign, because that should have it connect, pretty quick. So now I'm gonna hold the device right there next to it, and let's see how long it takes. Sometimes there's been occasions where it just doesn't connect after a couple of seconds, and if you know already within 2-3 minutes that it's not connecting, you're gonna have to do it again. Don't just wait on it to do it or anything like that. Go ahead and do it again. This one doesn't seem to be connecting, so I think I'm going to just go ahead and try it again. So I'm going to press the plus and minus and the plus and minus, both down at the same time. This one should turn off again. There, it's going to connect. Okay, so holding it like that, it connected on its own. But then I'll give another example with this blue one over here. But for the most part, that's probably the best way to connect these. That's for all associates. That's for all managers. Don't, oh, it took me a while because it wouldn't connect and all you were doing was this. No, this is the correct way to do it. Go ahead and press these two down and get started for the day. Now, once you have it connected, you can go ahead and start off your day. What I like to do right off when I start off my day is change my task package, and that's actually the first thing we're going to go ahead and look at. So now we're going to go ahead and scroll down the menu button. The menu button is the little man right here. This is also going to be your confirm button. So if you press this button, it's going to tell you to select menu item. You're going to scroll with the minus and plus. So you're going to go down, 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 down to whatever you want to do. And when you want to confirm that that's what you're doing, that's what you want to do, you press the little mannequin, which is the menu button. If you press the play button over here on the left hand side, it's going to cancel what you were trying to do. So it's just going to turn it off. And then if you turn it back on, it's going to be exactly where you were at. So that's just a heads up. So now we're going to go ahead and go through the menu items and see what you're able to do.
Current operator is Corey Bryant. Select menu item.
So now select menu item. I'm going to be pressing the minus throughout the time.
Change task.
Change task. So throughout, every time I go to a new menu item, I'm going to go ahead and turn it off because then it keeps talking. To turn it off, you just press the play button once again. So now,
noise sample. Change task.
Change task.
Operation cancel. Good night.
So change task. Change task pretty much means under what package you're going to be picking in or doing whatever you're going to do with this device. So if you're a dry selector, for example, and they tell you, hey, John Doe, what you're going to do is go into task package 359. That's the task package that you're going to go. If they tell you to change to perishable, to the dairy, to the produce, and they tell you, hey, John Doe, change to task package 456, you're going to change to task package 456. It's just the way I see it and the way that many people have explained it to me is that that's some type of connection that can help to where you're supposed to be picking in. It's kind of hard to explain, but at the same time, that's just what you're supposed to be in under the software, I guess you could say, that you're supposed to be in for what you're going to be doing. So if you're picking in the freezer and they say the best place to pick in the freezer is in task package 123, that's the best thing to do. I suggest whatever warehouse you're at, just go ahead and ask, hey, what task package should I be in? That way you get a better reception in the in the area. You don't lose any signal. It doesn't help. It doesn't lag or anything like that. Anything that just can happen like that. So that's why the task package is very important. So that's how you change your task package. And that's the best thing to do. For example, once again, if you're going to start off in a new warehouse and they go, hey, you're going to be picking in perishable. Okay, I would ask, okay, what task package am I supposed to be in? That way it can just help you in the long run. I always like to change my task package every morning, especially if you're using a different vocallett every day. Because in some warehouses, they let you keep this headset for the time that you're working there, but they make you turn this one in every day. These are very expensive items. These are around $3,000, just depending on the model and anything like that. But for the most part, they want these in the warehouse and don't want these taken home. So now, let's go into the next one.
Current operator is Corey Bryant. Select menu item. Change task. Report problem.
Report problem. So once
Operation
again,
cancel.
I'm going to
Good night.
cancel it. I'm going to turn it off. Report problem. What report problems means is that if you're in aisle 1, and you notice every time you get to location 52, it starts lagging, it's not picking up your voice, you hear some beeping, it's saying error contacting host, and it's always around that area. What you want to do is you want to go into here,
Current operator is Corey Bryant. So change tab. Report problem.
go into report problem, and press report problem again. What that
Operation
does,
cancel.
there I canceled it, but you want to report it by pressing the little man again. Once again, the little man is to confirm. The reason you want to report that problem is because if multiple people are reporting the problem around the same area, they'll go to that area, or at least they should go to that area and see what's wrong, see if they need extra signal around the warehouse, see what else they need to do to improve signal there, or there has to be a reason why people are reporting problems around that area. But if you're getting error contacting host, if your vocallett is turning off and not doing anything, if your threes aren't getting picked up and you keep saying 3-3, 3-3, 3-3, and it's saying not, report that problem. It's always better, and that way, another reason is you can use that as your advantage if you ever have problems during your picking. If they're exceeding your performance and you're saying, well, I'm having problems with my vocallett, and they're saying, well, you're not coming up and telling us anything. Well, yeah, I'm reporting it to my vocallett, and they can go back and track everything. So that's the best thing to do, and that's one of the reasons why report problem is very important. So change task, report problem. Let's go to the third one.
Current operator is change tab. Report problem. Battery status.
Battery status. That's just going to tell you how much this battery has left, so that's also good.
Battery status. Battery time to empty is 32 hours and 55 minutes. Good night.
Okay, so perfect. That's why you want one of these big batteries, once again, especially if you're picking in the freezer, you're picking in a cold area. The smaller batteries that'll just go up to here, I mean, those are good too, obviously, but they're not going to last longer than these big fat batteries. So that's the third one. That's to show you how long the battery has life in it. So change task, report problem, battery status.
Current operator change report battery change speaker.
Change speaker. That's just if you want to change it from female to male.
Press the plus or minus button.
This is male. New settings saved. Good night. Unable to retrieve operator files. Current operator is Corey Bryant. Select menu item. Change task. Report battery status. Change speaker. Press the plus or minus.
This is female. New settings saved.
If you
Good night.
notice, do you see how I'm confirming everything with the little man? That's why I mean, knowing your system is very important just in general. That's something I want to point out.
Current operator is Corey
Look
Bryant.
how I control it
Select
with
menu
the
item.
headset now.
Noise sample. Retrain word. Change
You see?
operator. Change speed. Change pitch. Change speed.
That way, if you're
Battery
picking in the
status.
freezer and you can't press these buttons right here, you can at least press the ones up here. You need to,
Operation cancel.
understand
Good night.
everything that's going on with these headsets and what can make it easier for you in the long run to pretty much be more productive and, cut out all the fat, all the wasting time and whatnot.
Current operator is change report batteries. Change speaker.
So change speaker, once again, that's just female and male. I always prefer the female.
Change pitch.
Change pitch. You're going to
Press
hear
the
the
plus or
difference in the
minus
tone.
button to change pitch.
Here.
This is low. This is low. This is lowest.
That's the lowest.
Higher. High. This is highest. New settings saved. Good. Softer.
Obviously,
This
you
is
can hear
loud.
the
This is
difference.
loudest.
Now, if you're
Current
somebody
operator
that
is
wants
change-
it
change
a little
pitch.
higher, just have it a little higher.
Change speaker.
It's also good when you have
Change pitch.
fans, to put the pitch higher. Because sometimes when you're under fans in the freezer, you can't hear it. So,
Change speed. Change operator. Change speed. Change pitch. Change speaker. Change pitch. Press the plus or lower.
for me, it's
New
cool
settings
right there.
saved.
I'm not
Good
really
night.
tripping, but I just want to show you, sometimes it is better to have the pitch higher, than lower, because it's just going to talk to you like this. So, just kind of keep that in mind. So that's change pitch.
Current operator change report battery change pitch. Change speed.
Change speed.
Press the plus or this is slowest. News current operator is Corey
Obviously,
Bryan.
you see what I'm
Select
saying,
menu item.
or you hear it yourself.
Select menu item. Change report problem. Battery change speed. Change pitch. Change speed.
You see?
Press the
Now you
plus
go a
or
couple
this
up.
is slowest. Good night. Current change pitch. Change speed. Press the faster. New setting saved.
See, now it's talking a little faster.
Softer. Loud. This is loudest. Current operate. Change task. Report problem.
Now it's
Battery
talking
status.
faster. Now listen to the
Battery
fastest.
status. Battery time to empty is 31. Unable to read. Current operate. Change pitch. Change speed. Press the faster. New setting saved. Good night. Current operator is Corey Bryan. Change task. Report battery status. Change speaker. Change pitch. Change speed. Change pitch. Change speed. Press the plus or minus button. Faster. This is fastest. New setting saved. Good night.
That's the fastest. You heard the other fastest.
Softer. Current operator is Corey Bryan. Select menu item. Change task. Report problem. Battery status. Change speaker. Change pitch. Change speed.
You hear obviously.
Press the plus or minus button. Change speed.
Sometimes you can barely hear it, but let me tell you something. The people that run the fastest, that's how fast they have it sometimes. They say that it makes a big difference, and I mean, I can see why, but just so you can see how fast it goes.
Slower.
There we go.
New setting saved. Good night.
Just so you can see and you can know what's going on with these devices and how to use them to your advantage and how to put it the way you would like to, and you know, just to know what you're using in front of you, to be honest.
Current operator change pitch. Change speed. Change operator.
Change operator. So right there, change operator basically is you're gonna change it to you. So this one, if I'm gonna look for my name, the only thing I'm gonna do is go ahead and look for my name. And normally, you'll ask your trainer or the company under what team you're gonna be in, and then after that, they just go ahead and tell you could be under dry, perishable shipping, receiving, frozen shipping, first shift, second shift, anything they decide to, you know, whatever they decide to put it under. And then right there, you'll look for your name. Everything's by alphabetical order. So it should be, you know, should be easy. Just keep in mind that sometimes the machine says names a little bit different. So, you know, once you get to, you know, if your name starts with an S, just keep an eye out whenever you're around the S's that your name's going to be around there. Or if you're around the P's, keep an eye around the P's. You know what I mean?
Current operator change speed. Change operator. Retrain word.
Retrain words. Retrain words is very important. If you go in to confirm
Operation cancel. Good night.
retrain word, you're basically going to go retrain all the words that you need to record. These days, there's a lot of AI. So they say that there's a lot of AI that gets accustomed to your voice, so you don't have to go in and record it. But it's always better to at least still go in and record the ones that are giving you problems, because there's always going to be maybe a word or a number that isn't picking up from your voice or your accent. You know, I know a lot of people that have to switch up their accents when they're picking in these headsets. So just kind of keep that in mind, and it is always good to know how to go in and retrain your word. You know, you can go and retrain in any number from 1 to 0. I mean, from 0 to 9, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then all the all the letters in, I don't know what you call it, but Alpha, Echo, Bravo, Charlie, you know, all of that stuff, Zulu, November, Juliet, Kilo, you know, just in that type of way. And obviously, you know, start order, ready, or any word that is really involved in whatever system they decide to use, because a lot of different systems, you know, use different, you know, words. But they'll go ahead and let you know what words that you're going to be using. So just keep that in mind for retrain word.
Current operator change operator. Retrain word. Noise sample.
Noise sample is pretty much just going to get a sample of your voice. It's going to ask you to repeat a couple it should be, I don't know if it's numbers, but it's just going to tell you to say something. You just respond back to it, whatever it says, and then it's going to get a little sample of your voice and make sure that it, you know, it's working with you, and, you know, being able to get into detail with your voice and whatnot. That's what I've been told. Like I said, this is just for anybody that needs some extra help. From my experience of working with these machines, I'm not over here saying that I know it all, but I just kind of wanted to give my input about this machine. And that's the menu item. Once again, if you have these two together, you can use this plus and minus without having to touch it. So now I want to get into a couple of the accessories it uses real quick. Anybody working in the freezer, it's best to have one of these right here. Very simple. You connect it right here on this side, and it's always good because it's gonna freeze up right here and ice is gonna start building up with it or without it, and then it's gonna eventually mess up because water is going into it. So just kind of keep that in mind. That's the first accessory. I've known people that have picked literally like this, with just this, no cushion, no nothing, just a napkin and this, and you can still feel the little edges. I'm sure some people probably can feel it right now in their ear if they're really experienced without using that. But you have one of these little rings right here. The cushion, you put it in, and you want to have this facing outward like this, the top. That way you can connect it to the headset. So you put it in. Good. And then you're going to connect it into those beautiful 3 dots right here. 1, 2, 3. You see right here the 1, 2, 3 open spaces. It's kind of hard to put in sometimes, but you'll figure it out. There. And then you just turn it to the right. To the right. Not to the left. To the right. Turn it to the right and you're good. For people that have long hair or people that sometimes even short hair, it falls off. So right here, there's a little opening. And then what you want to do is you want to get this part and push it in there. And that part's in there. And then there's a little hook on the side right here. And you just go ahead and click it in. You're pretty much just pushing it in right there. You see it? Right there. That little circle right there. And then you just push it in. It's easier with both thumbs. You just push it in with both thumbs and you're good right there. And this is how you use it. You put on your headset. I personally don't like using these, but that's just me. But that's those are some of the accessories you can use, and obviously sometimes this comes off, so just be careful. But now I'm gonna take this off and I'll put it into this blue one. I'll turn it on. Now this is just in case. I'm not gonna turn this off and we'll see how it works. It should work. But basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be pressing this one. When you press both of these at the same time, it should reset. Like you'll see it blinking. You see how it's blinking? That means it's trying to reset. Now I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna press the plus and minus and the plus and minus, and these two should connect together. Plus and minus, plus and minus. So I don't think it's gonna do it the first time. But it did, it should. There we go. So see, like I said, the best way to do it, plus and minus, plus and minus. You saw that we just had that one connected to this. We didn't even turn this off and we just connected it. So there should be no excuses going forward on why you couldn't get your system started. You shouldn't get lost for an hour and then pretty much say that I couldn't find anybody.